Now, as in Afghanistan, there have been concerns about democracy in Nigeria. The prolonged illness of late President Umaru Yar'Adua left many in Nigeria wondering about the political direction of the country. But fear has given way to hope. Following the peaceful inauguration of President Goodluck Jonathan, analysts say they are optimistic about the country's future but stress the need for change.
On October 1, 2010, Nigeria will celebrate its 50th anniversary of independence. And there's a lot to celebrate, especially Nigeria's national survival and its federal system, which has contributed to maintaining unity amidst great diversity.
Speaking at the United States Institute of Peace, panelists said support for citizens and civil groups is critical in ensuring progress in Nigeria's governance. Northwestern University professor Richard Joseph notes their role during Nigeria's leadership crisis.
I look upon what happens as one of the positive developments in Nigeria, because it's normally the military that comes and finds a solution. And the fact that the civilians found a way to do it themselves was going forward.
Many Nigerians fear that growing public restlessness surrounding Mr. Yar'Adua's ability to run the country would bring turbulence or lead to a return to military rule. African Sociological Association President Lai Erinosho credits civil groups for ending the anxiety.
It was the pressure of a coalition of this organization that forced the National Assembly to pass the Doctrine of Necessity bill, which wrested power from the cabal that held on when the president left for Saudi Arabia for treatment without handing over. The
panelists say less corruption and greater government accountability can sustain growth and security. Oka Obono of the University of Ibadan in Nigeria says despite the country's resources, progress is stalled.
If you consider just for the analysis, say 5 sectors: security, health, education, energy, and transportation, you find a parallelism in which there's a private appropriation of public resources to make these services available for the rulers, and then they do not become available to the generality of the people.
Judith Burden Asunu, a USIP fellow and advocate for Nigeria's oil-rich Niger Delta region, attributes the region's inability to capitalize on its resources to poor oversight.
Institutional strengthening, both in government and in civil society, seems to be one of the few solutions that I've found so far as to how to get out of the oil curse in the Niger Delta.
Lai Erinosho appeals to the international community to help strengthen civil groups by giving aid, but also calls on the West to penalize corrupt government officials with travel bans and asset freezes. Oka Obono, who also encourages Western countries to help, urges donors to consider giving more aid to civil groups.
The kind of aid that is provided should be scrutinized on its own merit and need not always go to the state. There are institutions and individuals and organizations, which may be non-governmental, which may be intergovernmental, that are providing services, that are accountable, that are transparent.
Judith Burden Asunu says she's concerned that civil groups are weakening due to lack of funding and activists leaving for government.
So I think we need to think about how we can help to boost civil society, not only in Nigeria in general, but also particularly in the Niger Delta, where it is necessary to help to work for the good governance in the states where so much oil revenue is coming into their coffers.
Now, forecasting what Nigeria might be like in 2025, one of the panelists at this conference said that without tough intervention, Nigeria could either resemble Pakistan or with the right strategies might be more democratically stable like Brazil.